the government is talking about now has been spoken of in the past as well. We've seen international studies that say that out of the companies that chose to move out of China, many went to Vietnam, some chose to go to Indonesia, some even to Bangladesh, very few in the past have come to India. Are you seeing anything different this time around? You're speaking to companies the world over. How is India being perceived globally? How many companies that are looking to move out of China, do you believe, are interested in exploring the idea of coming and doing business in India?
Yeah, Rahul, can you hear me?
I hear you well.
Okay, great. I think a lot of people are considering putting up manufacturing options, and clearly India is, I would say, one of the 5 options they're considering. I think, taking off from Sajjan's point, it is upon ourselves to do the requisite reforms to attract that. I don't think it is lack of marketing or lack of knowing what India is. People love India for its democracy, for its upholding of contract law, no issues. I think the simple thing is that we've got to make sure we make doing business here easy, which I think the government is extremely focused on. It's got to be put into practice, have some successful examples, and then showcase those. And I think the virtuous cycle will start. And the only second thing I want to add, if you want people to really come up here and take the opportunity by its, as I say, sort of, hands-on, then I think we've got to have a pretty strong local financial sector. You can't keep depending on foreign money all the time. You've got to have deep capital markets and a robust banking system. And those are the kind of reforms we need to see now. Because when we come out of COVID and everything, I think you want to make sure that you have a sustainable manufacturing kind of base here.
Sanjay, can I ask you to build on what you're saying? The reality of the last few years is international manufacturing that did move out of China didn't really come to India. Why did that happen? What do you believe needs to be done now by Minister Goyal, by the entire government, to ensure that the talk is translated into action? What specific would you like to see?
I would say that I think there is a certain amount of kind of fragmentation in the approval process and a fragmentation in how things get processed. Where if Minister Goyal can probably centralize it there, because he's got commerce and industry with him, then you have a single window to clear a lot of projects. And I'm not talking of big projects. I'm talking of smaller ones, those that represent elements of supply chain. I think people still find it difficult and are a little confused where they go for what. So one is centralization of decision making, and I'm sure that his office or his ministry can then go and garner a lot of support from others. So that's really what I think. People want to see a few success stories. And look, if anybody can do it, this government can do it. There's a lot of conviction, extremely hardworking, and it's a great opportunity to really catalyze this movement on the back of COVID. Frankly.
Minister, can you build on what is different this time around in our approach? We've been trying to pull manufacturing out of China for the last several years. That project hasn't been the best success so far. What gives you confidence that it will be different this time around? How is your approach different, Minister?
The difference this time around is twofold. A, there is more public acceptance for many of these reform steps, which in the normal course would have got engulfed in political controversies. B, the rest of the world is also looking for alternate strategies in their supply chains, and India figures high on their list as a trusted and reliable partner on whom they can depend. And I think we can see that as almost on a daily basis. The number of inquiries that Invest India, which is the nodal agency handling all these inquiries, both domestic and international, is receiving regularly. We have 600 active engagements going on right now, where we are talking to companies both in India and internationally. I personally am engaging with a lot of corporates, Indian and international, to see how we can bring that mojo back into the investment cycle. My own sense is India will be amongst the first countries to recover out of COVID, because we have 130 crore aspirational Indians. This local demand is going to be the driver of investments, which will also give us higher quality products manufactured to scale, bringing competitive edge to their pricing, and therefore making them competitive also in the export market.